guy. We've been working on a few Indians the last couple of weeks, and on this particular one, we're going to try to sell somebody the motor with all the electronics and everything, where if they want to make a custom build out of it, they can. And so I felt like it was be a whole lot better on the person buying it if I made a little video, sort of walk you through how these things work. They're semi-complicated, there's a lot of computer control, but we've got all the components, so it should work out for you. So on this one, if you don't know by now, these have a fob on them. It's run by the computer, and the fob has to be closed. Well, we didn't get the fob with this one, but we do have what's called a pin code, and I'm going to show you how this works. First off, this is a power button, just like a computer power button. And you have to fire it up, and then you have a certain amount of time for the fob to be around or it won't work. So the way the pin code works, this one's 70-45. So you go left, right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the zero is that. And then you go left again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you'll notice, that went off. It'll power up now. And there you go. So this was a Chieftain, and we've taken everything off and got it where it can function. We can test it out. And what you'll need to do, one of the things about them that's real finicky, a lot of the times it happens, it's got a kickstand switch, and they go bad evidently quite a bit because the two that we've worked on back to back, both of them have been bad. All it needs is a ground, so we just hardwired it right there and bypassed it. If you don't have that, it won't crank using the switch. You can jump it off in the fuse box and the breaker box here. You pull out the relay and then cross it over, and it'll fire up that way. But there's little tricks to these things, but that fob, I haven't figured out a way to get around that just yet. But hopefully someday we'll be able to figure out how to bypass that. So what I'm planning on doing is sending the motor complete, the wiring harness, the electronics. In order to punch in the codes, you'd have to have the controller up here, the control cube. And we'll sell those separate, but if you want to, you'll have to have that punch in the code. Or you'll have to get it wired up and take it to an Indian dealer and have them program you in a fob. And the hope is when you get it, you put it together, everything's going to punch in the code, it'll work. We've undone the battery a couple of times, and it hasn't lost its code, and hopefully that's the way it will be. Don't really know a whole lot more to tell you about it, other than the fact we're going to peel the frame off of it and leave the oil cooler, the wiring harnesses, the sensors, everything that this thing has around the motor, the electronics and the wiring harness, you're going to get. As you can tell, this wiring harness got clipped up here, but most of the wires, including these that go to the instrument cluster, are good. Most of the wires that got cut are lighting, like auxiliary lighting wires, and that's the damage you're going to have. But all the cube wires are good, and we proved them out and they work. So that'll give you a good head start on a custom build for an Indian. This bike has 9,000 miles on it. We've got that on the speedo showing that, so it's a good bike. And it's a 2014, I believe, or 2015, but we'll clarify that in the listing. Peace out.